Listen up. This isn't for delicate ears. This isn't a feel-good session. This is a gut punch you desperately need. You blame the economy, the system, women, your boss, bad luck? Bullshit. That's the comfortable lie you choke down every damn day. The enemy gnawing at your potential, your power, your very balls, isn't lurking in the shadows outside. It's raging inside you. It's you. And until you stare that monster down, you are condemned to a life of pathetic mediocrity. Yes, I said it. You. And if that truth burns, good. Let it. Because for too long, you've been force-fed a lie. From birth, we're programmed to externalize blame, to hunt for villains outside ourselves. Society whispers insidious poison into your ears. You're a victim. Your struggles aren't your fault. You're owed something. They wrap up weakness in a pretty bow, calling it comfort, distraction, self-care, and sell it to you as happiness. They tell you masculinity is toxic, ambition is crude, discipline is oppressive. And what do? Most of you gobble it up. Hook, line, and goddamn sinker. You trade your inherent power for a pathetic scrap of pity, your burning purpose for fleeting pleasure, your raw strength for effeminate softness. You scroll into oblivion, mainline brain-dead content, chasing empty highs, while primal fire in your gut, the one that once roared for dominance, for mastery, for purpose, slowly, agonizingly dies. You look at the world, the chaos, the challenges, the unforgiving grind, and you find endless reasons to whine. You blame everything except the one thing you absolutely control: your own mind, your own actions, your own choices. This isn't some kumbaya pep talk to make you feel fuzzy. This is a cold, surgical strike of reality, forged in the brutal wisdom of 2,000 years of Stoic philosophy. Because the Stoics didn't just dabble in self-help, they mastered self-mastery. They knew the true battlefield isn't the chaotic world around you, it's the war zone within. They understood that genuine power isn't controlling the external, it's absolute command over yourself. And the most lethal opponent isn't some external boogeyman. It's the spineless, excuse-making part of you that bows to circumstance. It's the pathetic coward that chooses the padded cell of comfort over the crucible of courage. That is the saboteur, the hidden enemy we're dragging into the light today, living rent-free and gutting you from the inside out. Let's get into the specifics. This enemy manifests in several insidious ways, eroding the very core of what it means to be a man. The first cancerous growth of this internal enemy is your slavish devotion to comfort and your insatiable hunger for distraction. You scroll, you binge, you escape, you numb, you lie to yourself, calling it unwinding, relaxing. But what you're actually doing is running from the grind, running from the difficult truths, running from the chilling silence where true purpose screams for attention. Seneca, a Stoic titan, saw this decay 2 millennia ago. Men too weak to sit with their own thoughts, constantly scrambling for external stimulation to fill an internal void. Today, it's a pandemic. Your phone, your endless feeds, your streaming cesspool. They are precision engineered to keep you docile, to ensure you never confront a man in the mirror. You wake up, phone in hand. You work, break for phone. You finish, collapse in front of a screen, numb. Where is the mental battlefield for strategic thought? For brutal planning? For deliberate, decisive action? There is none. You are a dopamine junkie, trading your empire-building vision for pathetic short-term hits. You dodge the searing pain of discipline, the pre-dawn workout, the laser-focused work, the raw, difficult conversation, because comfort is an easier drug. But comfort isn't freedom, it's a gilded cage. It entombs you in mediocrity, slowly strangling your ambition, your drive to dominate, your very essence as a man. When was the last time you truly sat in silence? No phone, no screen, no music, just you and the unvarnished reality of your thoughts. For most of you, that thought alone triggers panic, because in that void, you might finally hear the undeniable truth. You are not living up to your potential, and that truth is agonizing. The enemy thrives on your fear of that reality. It whispers, just one more video, you earned that extra snack, you deserve a break. And you, like a weak dog, obey. Because it's easier than staring down the hard, brutal reality of what you should be doing to build a life, the body, the career you claim to want. This is a relaxation. This is slow, deliberate suicide of your potential. Next, this hidden enemy devours your soul through your pathetic craving for external validation. You obsessively check the likes, the comments, the shallow nods of approval from strangers. You sly craft a false persona, shaping your life, your image, your very convictions to fit what you imagine others want to see. You're not living a life. You're trapped in a perpetual, exhausting performance. And in this charade, you gut your authentic self, your hard-won inner strength, surrendering it to the fleeting, worthless opinions of the mob. Epictetus, a man born into literal slavery, understood that ultimate freedom wasn't about breaking chains on his wrists, but forging an unyielding self-sufficiency within. He declared, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life, and that freedom is born from a defiant indifference to what you cannot control, primarily other people's judgment. Yet you, a supposedly free man, squander your peace, your integrity, your damn self-respect, contorting yourself to measure up to impossible, curated standards, the fake gurus, the millionaire highlight reels, even your neighbor's shiny new truck. You compare your brutal, everyday reality to someone else's manufactured fantasy, and you shrivel. You chase hollow status symbols, not because they build anything meaningful, but because you delude yourself into thinking they'll earn you respect or admiration. This isn't strength. This is the lowest form of weakness. It's allowing your intrinsic worth as a man, your purpose, your very leadership capabilities, to be dictated by external metrics that are constantly shifting and ultimately utterly meaningless. Are you a man or a weather vane? A man who defines himself by what others think of him is no man at all. He is a pathetic slave to public opinion, an empty shell, easily manipulated, constantly scrambling for applause instead of building a legacy. This enemy whispers, "Are you enough? Look at him. You're falling behind. They're judging you." And you swallow it, because you fail to build an internal fortress of unshakable self-worth, grounded in your own brutal honesty and decisive action. This is where the enemy injects its most toxic venom, paralyzing your potential, the gutless victim mentality. You whine about your parents, your pathetic upbringing, your incompetent boss, your bad luck, the ever-convenient system. You clutch 1,000 perfectly crafted, self-serving excuses for why you haven't conquered what you desire, why you're trapped, why the world isn't fair. And every single excuse you utter is a pathetic surrender of your inherent power, your birthright as a man. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who commanded an empire, spent his life meticulously dissecting personal responsibility. He knew that while we can't control the external storm, we possess absolute, unyielding control over our response to it. He called it his inner citadel, an impregnable fortress of mind. Yet you, despite your supposed freedom, let every brutal setback, every crushing challenge, become another flimsy justification to throw your hands up and declare, "It's not my fault. I'm a victim." This isn't just pointing fingers at others. It's the insidious self-betrayal of making excuses for yourself. "I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'll start tomorrow. It's too hard to launch that business. I can't get ripped like that." These are the poison darts the enemy fires to keep you small, stagnant, castrated from action. You rationalize your endless procrastination, your piss-poor effort, your terror of failing. You pathetically convince yourself that your circumstances are uniquely tragic, that you're uniquely disadvantaged. Does that sound like a warrior? Does that sound like a man building a legacy? No. Every single man who has ever achieved anything monumental, built an empire, mastered craft, forged an unbreakable body, faced hellish adversity. The difference? They didn't let it become an excuse. They weaponized it. They understood that whining accomplishes nothing. Blaming changes nothing. Only brutal, relentless action shifts the scales. And until you seize 100% unapologetic responsibility for every single aspect of your life, every triumph, every crushing defeat, your exact current position, you will remain powerless, a whimpering leaf tossed by the winds of fate, forever searching for a scapegoat. This enemy wants you to believe you are a puppet. Are you going to keep dancing on its strings? Finally, and most fatally, this hidden enemy feasts on your cowardice. Your fear of failure, absolutely. But more profoundly, your fear of discomfort, your terror of pain, your visceral dread of the unknown. We have become disgracefully soft. Too many of you cower in a sterile climate control bubble, meticulously avoiding anything that might forge you physically, mentally, or emotionally. The Stoics didn't just tolerate discomfort, they hunted it. Seneca, the philosopher, the power broker, deliberately subjected himself to voluntary hardship, sleeping on the ground, eating bare rations to temper his mind, to harden his period against the inevitable hammer blows of fate. He understood that by charging into discomfort, you rip its power from its grasp. Yet, you flinch from the ice-cold shower. You duck the brutal, necessary conversation. You quit the grinding workout when it truly starts to burn. You recoil from the audacious business venture. You choose the path of least resistance every single goddamn time. This fear isn't just about avoiding a scraped knee or a bruised ego. It's about recoiling from the gut-wrenching feeling of failure, the blistering sting of rejection, the crippling ache of inadequacy. You cling to soul-crushing jobs because the prospect of building something new, of facing the market, is paralyzing. You settle for dead-end relationships because the thought of standing alone, truly independent, is terrifying. You coddle yourself in the gym, never pushing past an uncomfortable burn, because you're terrified of what true effort demands. But true growth, true power, true dominance lies precisely on the other side of that discomfort. It lies in slamming headfirst into your fears, in embracing the raw struggle, in enduring the temporary agony for the glory of long-term mastery. The enemy whispers, stay safe, stay small, stay comfortable. Failure is the end. Avoid pain at all costs. That path doesn't lead to safety. It leads to a life unlived, a colossal waste of your potential, a life utterly devoid of genuine strength, forged in the fires of adversity. You cannot build an empire if you're paralyzed by the fear of the first brick crumbling. You cannot forge steel without the inferno. The softness you've embraced, the easy way out you constantly seek, is a very cancer making you brittle, weak, and ultimately irrelevant. So there it is, the hidden enemy, not some shadowy cabal, not them. It's the insidious, conniving voice inside your own skull that champions softness, craves shallow approval, concocts endless excuses, and screams at you to flee from pain at all costs. It's a pathetic part of you that instinctively clutches the easy path, the path of least resistance, the path that guarantees a lifetime of festering regret and a colossal waste of your raw, masculine potential. Now, what in the absolute hell are you going to do about it? Are you going to keep bowing to that internal adversary? Are you going to keep blaming the world, whining like a child, and numbing your senses into oblivion? Or are you finally ready to draw a line in the sand and declare total, absolute war? This is no passive introspection. Stoicism isn't about transforming into an emotionless drone. It's about becoming the undisputed master of your own internal dominion. It's about forging an unbreakable character, hardened in the unforgiving fires of reality. Here is your ruthless call to action, and it demands unconditional commitment. Starting today, pinpoint one glaring area where you habitually choose soft comfort over brutal discipline. Your phone addiction, your garbage diet, your pathetic sleep schedule, your chronic avoidance of that one dreaded vital task. Take one immediate, agonizingly uncomfortable step right now to deliberately choose a harder, more demanding path. Sit in torturous silence for 10 minutes. Take a glacial cold shower. Decimate that formidable task first. Sever your addiction to external praise. Stop checking for digital applause. Stop craving approval. Do something purely for yourself, for the unwavering sake of your own integrity, with zero expectation of a single or pat on the back. Build your self-worth from the deepest core of your being, based on your own ironclad values and unshakable actions, not a flimsy, fluctuating external scoreboard. Take absolute, unyielding ownership of everything. Your current situation, your monumental failures, your hard-won successes. Eradicate every single excuse. Blaming is for whimpering boys, not for conquering men. Embrace radical responsibility for your every choice and your every reaction to the chaos thrown your way. What can I do right now to dominate this becomes your new commanding mantra. Actively hunt discomfort. Lean into the visceral fear. Brutally push your limits. In the gym, in your career, in your relationships. Understand that failure is not an ending, but a savage, essential teacher. The only true failure is refusing to step into the fight. This isn't a magic pill. This is an unending, brutal campaign. But it is a campaign you are equipped to win. You possess the primal power within you to utterly obliterate this hidden enemy. The Stoics carved a path through relentless discipline, through unshakable reason, through ruthless self-awareness, and through an iron will commitment to virtue. The final question, the only question that matters. Are you ready to stop being your own damn jailer and finally unleash the man you were born to be? The choice is yours. Make it now.